my troopers popping in this bitch, popping in this bitch. Me and my troopers popping in this bitch, popping in this bitch. Me and my troopers.
Hello there. Nobody's here. I could yell again, but I don't feel like yelling. Hello, my name is Mr. J3T, aka Big Sexy, aka the Kentucky Cannon, aka the World Class Badass, aka Chocolate Thunder with Caramel Swirl, aka Black Lightning with peanut butter filling, aka the notorious J3T. Yep. I just like how that came out, the notorious J3T. Yes, I know what notorious means. It's just, it sounds cool. I just think it sounds cool. The notorious J3T. So anyway, I am here to talk about a little show called Yasuke. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Yasuke. Yeah. So Yasuke is a series that's on Netflix right now. It's about 6 episodes, and it's loosely based off of the true story of Yasuke, who is the first African American samurai. So it's influenced. This show is influenced by the actual story, but this show goes in its own direction. It has some elements of the actual story of Yasuke, but for the most part, the show just goes in its own direction, and you can see it from the opening of the episode 1, because this show wastes no time going full anime. Like, it just goes full anime, like energy blasts, big ass mecha robots. It's like it wastes no time going full anime on us, and it was cool and hilarious at the same time. It was cool because all of this crazy stuff is happening, right? And all this cool action stuff is happening, but it's hilarious because they wasted no time going balls deep into all of that. So I guess I should tell you what it's about. So in this show, Yasuke, he gets tasked with taking this girl named Saki to a doctor to help her with this illness that she has. And that's the gist of it. So the animation is really good. I didn't see any flaws. It looked smooth. It looked fluid. And they really popped off when it came to the fight scenes, because the fight scenes were awesome. There is one scene in particular that's probably my favorite, where Yasuke, he takes on all these other samurais by himself, and he's just killing them one by one. There's one point where he slices a dude almost completely in half, and it was awesome. It was cool. This show is really bloody too. Like, it's not as bloody and gory as Invincible, but it's still pretty bloody and gory, you know? And that was cool. They didn't hold back on the blood and gore, and I like that. It wasn't to the extent of Invincible, because Invincible, man, I'm gonna like, Invincible, the show, is possibly gorier than the comics. So yeah, Invincible just put a whole new bar, the blood and gore. But yes, this show still shows its fair share of blood and guts and all that. It doesn't go it's not as bad as Invincible, but it's still there, you know what I mean? Yasuke himself, I like him, you know. It's cool to see that you know, just this black guy just kicking ass, you know, killing people and everything. It's cool to see him kill people that just calls him a slave, you know, or a servant, because throughout this whole show, people are like, "Oh, you're not a real samurai. You'll never be a real samurai. You're just a servant. You're just a slave." And to just see him just kill all those people that keep calling him like a slave and a servant and all that, it was pretty satisfying to see. It was cool to see that. Saki, I liked her. Uh, she she has the same sort of the same problem that I had with the main character from BNA. You guys remember BNA? You got all the way back. You guys remember BNA? So yeah, it kind of has the same. I kind of have the same problem with her that I had with the main character from BNA, in that uh, her sickness, her illness, is sort of a side effect of her powers, because she has some psychic telekinetic powers, right? And at first, it looks like she can't control them, but as the show goes on, we just see her just float and levitate and like lift these heavy things, right? And it's just like, weren't you just struggling to control your powers like a little while ago? And now it seems like you're you got a hang of it, you know? It's like it's sort of the same problem. We don't really see it looks like we see her struggle at first, then just out of nowhere it's just boom, just boom, 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 and it's like we don't see her like train very much, and like this problem happens throughout the show too, because the climax, I'm not going to tell you guys what happens, but she does something like, she's like, "Oh, I can't do it," and the doctor, the mentor, he's like, "Try," basically, and she's like, "Okay, I got it." That's I'm overly simplifying that, but essentially that's what happens. And yeah, I just wish we saw her train her powers a little more, get better, show us progression, showing us her practicing instead of just boom, I'm good at this now. I just wish we saw more of that. But then again, this show is only 6 episodes, so I guess they had to, just go, 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 go. So I wish this show would have had more episodes, so we could have saw her progress, saw her like actually like control her power, getting to know her powers and controlling them and getting used to them. I just wish we saw a little more of that. But it's not a huge complaint, but it's still, again, something that I noticed. It's something that kind of just didn't sit right with me. So that's overall. I like Saki. I didn't like. I wasn't a big fan of her and her powers either. I wasn't a big fan of that. There's this group of mercenaries that's after Saki that I like a lot. They have a giant robot. They have a psychic, a big old Russian woman that can turn into a bear, who's my personal favorite character of this. She's just awesome. We have this, and they're cool. I like them. I like their chemistry. I like how they bounced off of each other, especially the robot and a swords woman. It looks like at first they bicker with each other a lot, but we see that they're like, "Oh, we're friends now. Yeah, friends, cool." So I like that they bicker with each other. I like their chemistry. I like their powers, especially the Russian woman that could turn into a bear. That was pretty cool to see. It was fun. I just liked it whenever she was on screen, because it was just so, yeah, I like her, I liked her. That was cool. Going back to Yosuke, he has this whole reluctant hero arc, where at first he doesn't want to take Saki to this doctor to get her all checked up and everything, get her trained up. But over the course of the series, we see them like grow a bit of a bond, and we see Yosuke actually starting to care for Saki, and that was cool to see. I like their whole dynamic too, how they're protecting each other. There are points where they both save each other multiple times throughout this entire show, and that was cool to see. Yeah, overall, I really like this show. It's not my favorite, but it's still really good. The villain, like the big bad, she's okay. She's one of those villains that's just, I from the looks of it, she's just like pure evil, and I'm okay with that, because sometimes how can I describe this? We don't really see many villains who are just terrible, just pure bad people. Now, don't get me wrong. I like the fact that other villains are like have these complex, understandable motives, right? I understand that. I'm cool with that. It's cool to see that they aren't just one dimensional. But sometimes, it's just cool to see just a person who's bad just because that means like we have more fun moments with them. They just completely unhinged, and it gives more chances for the actor to just have fun. The actor playing that just purely evil villain to just have more fun. And I like it when actors just have fun with their roles that they play. I like seeing actors have fun with the characters that they're playing, and that just gives actors more of opportunity to have fun with just this purely evil character. And plus, it's also can be funny to see just a character just be so cartoonishly evil. For all you wrestling fans out there, Big Boss Man, from like the Attitude Era when he came back to WWF at the time from WCW, he just morphed into pretty much the most evil man on the planet. Like, he was making fun of the Big Show's dead dad. Hell, he went he went to Big Show's dad's funeral, ran over Big Show with a car, strapped Big Show's dad's coffin onto his car, and drove off as Big Show is jumped on the coffin and is just riding on the coffin, and he falls off like also a point where Big Boss Man literally killed a dog and fed it to his owner, Al Snow. Yeah, it was just the Big Boss Man was just so cartoonishly evil, and it was fun to watch that. And it was also fun to watch this villain just be evil and bad, I want to take over the world, all that. It was fun to see that too. I had that same fun watching this villain as I did watching the Big Boss Man doing all of this just terrible, terrible things. All those terrible things, excuse me. So, yeah, that was cool. The villain, just pure evil, but she was fun anyway. The animation, I gotta point out, the animation was really good. There are points where we see some CGI with the huge mecha robots, and the CGI didn't look horrible because anime has a tendency of anime and CGI don't usually mix, and for this show, I feel like the CGI it looked good. It didn't look awful. When everybody was using their powers, it was cool. They a lot of money went into the fights and the animation, and because the fights were just so fluid and not missing a beat, and it was cool to see. Overall, I really liked this show. Again, I wouldn't say it's like my top 5, but definitely like my top 10. It's good. It's also short too. Each episode is like 20 minutes, and it's only 6 episodes, so it's pretty quick. It's on Netflix right now if you want to go watch it. I give it 2 thumbs up, but no J3T stamp of approval. It's a good show. I like it, and I recommend it. So you guys can go watch it and form your own opinions. But yeah, that's about it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. But if you really like me, subscribe and ring that bell so you always know when I upload, because it's free. I keep on telling y'all, don't be a dum-dum. Don't refuse something that's free. Come on. Don't be a dum-dum. Subscribe today. Deuces.